told me that. I see you right and everything. I see that right. But I can't go against them folks that I don't, they value that more than that. But she didn't value that. But now, she'd have been in trouble. Her own self. I want you to see how this worked out. She would have been in trouble her own self had she took this baby and even took it to our house. Show you how God do stuff. Y'all know the story about what happened. There was an old custom in Egypt and had to do with the Egyptian ladies. They were so soft. They were so lovely and timid. Right, right. They wasn't. You have all these, and you got these. You got these guys here in America can't stand no black and can't stand all that, but they don't know whose titty that they're nursed on. Cause their mama could be fooling it and all that stuff. Right. And they run around and talk all that noise about it. I can't stand that. Hey, you raised up on one. But that's another story too. That's another scene. But so God had this thing set up. So it was time for the sister to come out now. Yeah. She went and said, hey. Yeah. She know how they did too, see? So she said, hey, you need somebody to read on, let's see.
The 7th verse says, at this point, his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, would you like me to go and find you one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?
See, that's knowing it. That was a customary thing that they did those things. That was it. Got her out of the loop and got her and got her to understand and got the security of the boy of Moshe. Y'all know who it is, Moshe. He fell into security. See? Because now it was all operating under the law. And then see what did she do? What did she do?
Pharaoh's daughter answered, yes, go. So the girl went and called the baby's own mother. Pharaoh's daughter told her, take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will pay you for doing it.
Now, let's stop right there. Do you know that was the safety? Yeah, that was the safety. If they come in now and ask, what you do with this baby there? She got a contract. This is my job.
I'm nursing the baby for the Pharaoh.
Yeah. Pharaoh's daughter, she didn't get no trouble and everything there because she didn't have a baby there for them to check it out. Because they kept him till he got one of his legs.
Oh, you ready for a wing?
Huh?
So they were wings.
Right.
Yeah, but they had to be here 2 hours.
So it was her protection and all. So they all see how God worked this thing out. I mean, this is her protection thing, as I was saying there. That meant her life. Not only that, but that could also been her life too. Right? Because if the king said, well, I don't care who he is. If you're the queen, if the king say that, then you're gone. That's his authority. But God, that's right. God got this thing worked out. See? Something I found out that I didn't know. After this incident here and all those things there, Pharaoh changed his law and his order against killing the babies and all those things there. You want to know why? Show you how God do things. No. The physicians, they had divine through their divination and everything, you know, that they agreed that a deliverer was gonna come and that he was gonna be born. So they was trying to just like the three wise men that they say, the three wise men that came to Herod and told him, have you seen those? Well, they had ways of knowing things too, you know. And so they had went to the king and told him those things, yeah. And so when Jochebed put her son into the Nile River, that was the sign for them to say that, hey, the Savior, the one that's going to is in the Nile. It's the king that assumed that when they said that it was in the Nile, that was going to be a death sentence. And so he thought that he had done his job. He thought they came to him and he thought that I ain't got to worry about no deliverer. I ain't got to worry about it because hey, he in the Nile. He dead because the Nile was the last step for the death penalty. See? And so it was true. He was placed in the Nile. But just what, and that's what God do things here, folks. He'll take that which is true. And I've always said, you know, take that which is crooked and make a straight shot with it. See? And so the king thought, hey, ain't no need to kill him. Innocent kids in on one, ain't no. So he rebuked that law there, shut that law off there and everything there. And so not only did Moshe was saved there, but the rest of the other babies that was killed and all that was slaughtered now, they were also saved as well. See? Because he was put into the Nile. See? And he assumed that that put into the Nile meant that he was drowned, but no. Actually, that very thing, that death penalty you said, was a life sentence. That's how God can turn things around. Right? It don't matter who gives us a death penalty. If God got something for you to do and all those things there, it don't matter. But the point of it is, have you set yourself up for those things there? See? Y'all couldn't let this man go down like that. No matter what the situation is. Yeah. And that's what he do things. No matter how terrible it looks, how bad it looks and everything there, he can bring you through it. Just as he did those things there. So, after saving his man, he got of age enough, then God appeared to him and let him know, here's why you got saved. See, right. Now we go to Exodus, the 6th chapter. I started reading the 2nd verse there.
Exodus 6.
Exodus 6.
God spoke to Moshe. He said to him, I am Adonai. I appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as El Shaddai.
Now, why I told y'all that I've been teaching on why does God always, when he go and appear to somebody and they do those things there in the spirit, he always referred to himself as what? There you go. There's a purpose in God's plan, and he still changed. Because want you to get this. Although it was some years later. But that was just only years. Not for God and the operation he's doing. So he had to bring them back to it. So we have to stay, and just how we have to understand Torah, and how we have to keep ourselves into those things, because we so easily forget those things. So you have to remind them what you get wrong, because it's easy for us to get our ideas, our little immediate little ideas of things. And that's not how God operates. Okay? So I had to let them know that, hey, I'm the God. I want you to know who you're dealing with. Okay? I'm the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. Now, this was some years, this was some years on down the line. Yeah, you got to remember how I'm operating and why you got saved.
And that pretty much identified him specifically.
Yes. And he's still doing the same thing today, dear folks, and he sees it the same way. Okay? Hold on. Now, read on.
Says, although I did not make myself known to you by my name, Yud-Heh, Vav-Heh, Adonai. Also with them I established my covenant to give them the land of Canaan, and the land where they wandered about and lived as foreigners.
Yeah, there you go. See that? God said, I'm still going to do this. See, y'all way ahead of this here. Y'all just done got to this one little point here. Now, what point was that? I want to hear your follow. What point had they just got through in God's plan?
Girl,
They're just now becoming a great nation. That's what he had. When God first called Abraham, Abraham didn't have a whole bunch of kids.
None.
Yeah, there you go.
None.
But yet there, God promised, he says, I want to make a great nation of you. Your seed gonna be as a. So he said, look, I'm still on this operation. You still locked in on this plan here. I made a covenant with him. And I told him. I even told him about what's gonna happen to y'all. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
He said, you know,
400.
he said,
Oh yeah.
you'll see, they're gonna be in Egypt for 400 years.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Told me.
See how God do things, you know?
Tell you the future.
On down there.
Yeah.
Now they're bringing them back. I don't want to get that Old Testament. I don't want to do that old stuff. Hey, it might be old, but you think it is, but not to y'all. Yet still, people think that they get it. Yeah, I'm immediately in the eyes of God, and I'm seeing and understanding fully what God is seeing, and you totally out of.
don't have no idea.
You're right. You don't have no idea. And I look at these folks, you know, like the lady said, that God talked to her, and every time she go to the place, and the guy kept on trying to say, well, what did he say about me? What did he? And she said,
Never did.
never did. She tried to come up with some rattling awful stuff that they got this all the time, with rattle off stuff that they use for that. He said, yeah, that's good. But the guy he's pretty smart on his long walk. He said, yeah, that's good. But I want to know what he said about that. You ain't told me, boy. She had to quickly get off of that, and they said, yeah, and then they started,
I remember that.
I
I remember that.
yeah, me and my husband, we were looking at it, we said, look at that.
I was wanting to know the next too.
Right.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, right. That's what supposed to be the prophet, you know what I mean? So God appeared unto him when it was the right time. And he said, now it's time. See, he hadn't got on up to some age then and all those things there. And God said, it's time now. And then he let him know. He go all the way back. It ain't just you that this thing is happening. That's the first thing that we got to do. We got to get our minds. And that's why I'm telling you, when we get into this, and we concluded, when you get into this whole attitude and this whole thing, I and me, we got to get I out the way.
Amen.
We did a midrash on this here some years ago, you know, and we midrashed that for a while. But instead of seeing people will successfully manipulate us with that I thing. Well, you gotta get that out the way. So you let them know right there. Yeah, you special, and I got this all out there, but I want you to know something now. There's a plan and a purpose for what you're doing these things. Read on.
The fifth verse says, moreover, I have heard the groaning of the people of Israel, whom the Egyptians are keeping in slavery, and I have remembered my covenant. Therefore say to the people of Israel, I am Adonai. I will free you from the forced labor of the Egyptians.
Now I want you to get this. First of all, he let them know. He said, I know what's going on. I'm aware of what the situation is. You think your God don't know the situation men we in? You don't think you don't know those things? He know. He let them know. He said, I know what the situation is. I've heard their groaning. I heard another one when he came to the party. He said, I went down there with you. I was down there suffering with you because I had to hear all that stuff. Even though I had told you for a certain amount of time, but you was hollering after things just kind of turned to this favorite, and you got to hollering. Yeah. And I know what's going on, but there's a set time for everything. There's a set time that God has set. Now you rush that time here. He says here, you know, there's a purpose, and I want you to let them know, see, who they are, see, and what plans I have for them. And yeah, I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to do something for your situation. But dear folks, I want you to get there. Not like what you think I'm going to do. Here's where he had the problem with the Israelites. Here's where God had a problem with us today. I said, then I listen, we don't like what God, the way God wanted to go. We wanted to go like what we wanted to go. Okay? You say, oh, they didn't do it. Oh, you need to read on. You need to read on and follow the story out. They accused Moshe, denied that he was who he is and everything. Because things wasn't going the way they wanted to go. Remember they said, we told you to leave us alone. That was, here you done brought us down here. Wasn't there enough graves in Egypt? Yeah, you done brought us out here to die. We'd have been better off.
They didn't want to stay Egypt, they didn't want to leave either. What they want to do? They over Egypt.
They said at least we had our melons. Yeah. You done brought us out here. God said, I want you to go. I want you to talk to them. I'm going to tell you something. Moshe knew that he was going to have some trouble with the Israelites too.
They already snitched on him.
Yeah, they did. That's what I'm knowing. He had some business with him.
Yeah, trying to take it up for them.
And now you tell me to go back and shave these folks? They're gonna get me in trouble? You gotta make a decision there. Moshe, are we able to take a decision? I remember some of my brothers was coming to me and said, you need to tell me you wasn't raised that way, then you want to turn yourself away from all the family and everything. I said, you might have right. Because I had to conclude in my mind that, hey, all this, they done lied to me and had me all right. I'm ready for it to go. It didn't matter. I had to make a decision, though. And that's what each and every one of us got to make a decision for.
Right.
Okay? Even our children will have to make a decision. You can just go so far on mom and daddy and those things. But yet you got to make a stand for your own self too. And this is why we got to do our best in order to try to establish in them early as you can and those things for them to make a decision on my daughter there. You know, I heard on the phone now. About Friday night, and she was telling a young lady, a friend, you can't call me on Friday nights and everything. My daddy don't. Well, in one way, I did that. But on another way, I knew that ain't gonna sustain forever. So right there you go. So I had to take that time, and I said it was God that did it. I had to take advantage of that time there. See, to instill that you gotta go further than just daddy said this. Right. I said you gotta make a stand on your own. I said daddy would have been better, and I would have been more happier because you said, well, what I did wrong, because I said I would have been happier. If you were told right off the chat, the day of the Sabbath, and I can't do this because it's the Sabbath and God is the one that, I said, but I'm glad that you got the way that you would have had to do it, but I'm looking for the time that you can do it and go straight forward from that. Because that's what's going to sustain you. That's right. You ain't going to be under my rules. You're going to have your own place, your own rules and everything. And if it's not based upon those things, it don't matter what dad's rules is. Well, that's at your house. I ain't at your house. That's why I got these rules. Now, I do it out. So, this is what we got to do. So God will let them know. See, that this is what's going to happen here. I'm the God, and I want you to see what's I'm doing. I know the first main thing, they're going to be concerned about that there, and let them know that that's one, but that ain't the whole show. Read on.
Okay, I will free you from the forced labor of the Egyptians.
All right, I'm going to free you. Notice it. I'm going to free you. I'm going to take care of your problems. Not might be the way that you want it done, but that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it in my way. Do you know who had to learn that first lesson about God's way? Moshe himself. Moshe wanted to, because he was a military man. Moshe had already got, once you got one of the Egyptians there, he resigned, and his own folks sold him out. oh, you gonna do the same thing to me like you did in the early. Moshe had to get the rope.
Yeah.
But that wasn't totally bad thing because, and hitting the road and everything there, he got a chance for him to learn. See? And be molded. And to be qualified for his mission. Because he was too full of that other stuff. He was too full of that Egyptian stuff that he had been raised up in. And he had to get that stuff out of him. Just like what he said, just like Ella Mike said, man, when I first come to him, me and him was battling, he said, well, you too full of that mess.
Empty that bucket.
Yeah, he said, you gotta empty that bucket, right?
And put that down in
For a while, I didn't understand what he was talking about, but they finally, and especially when I'm dealing with folks now, I see exactly what he's talking about.
there. Moshe could take his bucket with him.
Some folks, you can't get nothing on them now. See, you gotta get that bucket, you gotta get.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. I want you to get this, he said, there's a purpose for me up here with you, and they tell you this here. You know?
Rescue you from their oppression and redeem you with an outstretched arm, with the great judgment. I will take you as my people, and I will be your God. Then you will know that I am Adonai, your God.
Now, see, they missed that part there, and they got in trouble. He said, I want you to get this over to them. See? I ain't serving you. See? There's the 3 P's that you see there that God presented to Moshe. Promises, purpose, and the people. He said, you will be my people. But they was all Israelites. See, we can't get this thing mixed all up. See, a lot of folks, that's why a lot of people get things mixed all up and get out. And you get locked out often. You want. Just because they was Israelites and all of them didn't mean that he was his people.
Amen.
See? Just like they were all Israelites, but they didn't make it to the promised land. Right?
Right.
But they was Israelites. They had the right color, they had the blood and all that, but they didn't make it to the promised land. There you go.
They didn't have the right heart.
See? There you go. Something was missing.
Right.
See? Something was missing. See? They wasn't able to step up to the plate.
There you go. There you go.
They were not able to turn down the wrong voice and hang on to the right voice. Not like these other folks. He said, I'm going to rescue you. I'm going to rescue you. I'm going to do them. First of all, I want you to know this. I'm doing this because of a promise. Get that out your mind and everything that you. See, that's what the devil wants to get everything. That's why the enemy wants to think it's all locked into you. And then when he found out you ain't living up to power, what you thinking? And he throw lay that on you and say, see how? So he told Israel, he said, even in the last days, in these days here that he's bringing them back, and he said, don't you get to me here thinking to show righteousness.
That's right. That's right.
He said, I'm doing this why?
My name.
For his name's sake. Because I made a promise. you'll stay and abide within that operational thing, yeah, you can be a part with it. If you don't, you can go too. That's our God. That's the God of Israel.
That's the God of Israel.
He's tough. You don't think he's tough? Ask his son. Ask his son. Son come to him 3 times. With tears, with some crocodile tears, and with that, hey, sweating like blood. So you think he wasn't serious about it? And y'all said, no. Son, it's this way here, or no way. And what did he conclude? Nevertheless,
On my
are we
will.
willing to do that? Can we step up to the plate and do those things? Each and every one of us will have to come to that decision. Nevertheless, not my will, but Yah's will.
Shall be done.
Our children cannot make a claim and say a lot of things like other folks want. Because you've been taught these things. I did my best to teach you God's plan and what is on. And when you go out there and sell out to him for all this other stuff, and all that, don't think you're doing some glorious thing there. You're not. Therefore, he told him that I have plans, and read on.
Then you will know that I am Adonai your God, who freed you from the forced labor of the Egyptians. I will bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
There you go. I'm bringing you into the land. Notice, he didn't say nothing about their righteousness. He said, I'm bringing you into the land because what I swore to them. But I'll get this now. I want you to understand something. There were some restrictions and there was some implied things that you got to follow through. There's something you can get away with, something you cannot get away with. People are like, I ain't going, but there's something that you, and dear folks, I don't come to the conclusion now, if you can't count to 7, you out. Now that's my decision, and it's from my years of studying from God's word and those things there. He's not going to tolerate that. He ain't going to tolerate that. See? He ain't going to tolerate that. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. And we do that every Rosh Hodesh. You bring it to our attention every Rosh Hodesh. And let you know that's a criteria there. He says, every Sabbath, all flesh, all living is going to have to do this. Therefore, that's why I concluded that, hey, you got to be able to count to 7. You got to get that right. Yeah, I've been doing it. I've been in the Lord 50 years. You ain't come out to learn how to count to 7. You might have a lot of good stuff and everything, but hey, if you ain't got yourself, you in trouble. See? And so he let him know, get this in your mind. Here's what I'm doing. I'm not just coming down here just to free you from the punishment from the Egyptians. Yeah, I know they treat you bad and I do all that, but that ain't what I'm doing. I got some other things that is criteria that's on my mind that you are playing a part with. And if you're obedient and follow through, you will work. It'll work out for you. If not, you're in trouble. Read on.
I will give it to you as your inheritance. I am Adonai. Moshe said this to the people of Israel. But they wouldn't listen to him.
Oh, what? They wouldn't listen to him. Why wouldn't they listen to him? Why wouldn't they listen to him? Because they had their idea of how it should go. And this is how we have to be very careful, dear folks. Please, this is how we have, because Satan used that same thing right today. He used that same tactic right today. They turned down it because what they wanted. Do you know that this is why a lot of Israelites, Jews and all, turned down the Mashiach? We have right today that don't believe in no Mashiach. Yeah, you know, because this man that we accept as our Mashiach didn't come in and fulfill what they wanted to do. And they'll tell you that. I've talked to many of them. And the bottom line is that what they'll tell you. I don't know how many of y'all talk to them or not, but I've talked to them. And the bottom line is that they'll tell you that. Now, I don't accept him. He didn't fulfill the scripture. He didn't fulfill what is supposed to be. He didn't. I say, he didn't fulfill what you had in mind. Okay? He didn't fulfill what you had in mind. They wanted him to come down there, put a hurting on the Romans, just like they wanted him to go down there and put a hurting on the Egyptians, and God had something else in mind.
See, y'all put a hurting on the Egyptian. That's people had freedom.
And they was squabbling about that. God's people was squabbling about that. Giving Moshe all kind of trouble. Moshe, you said we gonna get free of that, and he is stuck down there. You said this here, and look, you done add more problems to it. Yeah, right. You done increase your work even worse. You ain't the leader. You ain't the savior. You ain't the one.
That's why they was in the wilderness for 40 years. They couldn't get you out of
There you go. Dear folks, we're not gonna be that way, right?
Mm-mm.
We're gonna make a stand for it, and when things get rough and everything else, we still gonna make a stand and stay with it. Right?
Right.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. And God is enough. But I want to go one more thing here. God had a plan not only for Israel and things, but God had a plan also for Pharaoh. Did you know that?
Yes, he did.
He had a plan for Pharaoh. See, that's what I'm going to say. You don't never know how God works out because God is dealing with the whole picture of things. And you just only dealing with the one who'll say, I can't wait till you get there. I can't wait. Like I was saying, he's going to work for Bob. I can't wait till some things get free, God gave us all that stuff free, and then we paying people for doing this, all that stuff, and all that stuff. And I can't wait till we get back to that. And that's all he wants. I say, are you willing to stand what it's going to take to get that freedom and to get those things? Are you willing to be able to go forth and stand the test of what it's going to take for you to enter into that kingdom where those things will be that way? Well, I don't start talking about no laws, and don't start talking about that he done already jumped crazy.
That kind of messes up your get to the kingdom of God. You want his free stuff. I mean, why you gonna risk your life for some stuff that you, that kind of diminishes
Well,
Warnings are very-
I got him on that there. Yeah, I said, well, you ain't willing to. I said, do you know that you get your stuff free right now? If you're willing to do, if you're willing to do what it takes to do it. What? I said, let me tell you something. My grandmother never paid for a long year. She never paid no water bill.
Like you feel me?
She paid no water bill.
No light bill.
They ain't gonna do all that either.
No gas bill. None of that.
They ain't gonna do all that either.
They didn't want to live like that.
There you go.
But it's available.
I said, so you hollering about, I said, you want things just to go your way and everything, and you just want to believe, but you don't want to. I said, let me tell you something, I'm glad that, hey, it's like that there, you know. I like the idea of going there to go to the tap and turn it on. I said, because, see, you're a young buck, see, you're a young man, you don't remember none of them days.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, well, see, I remember having to go to the well.
Right.
And go over there in the cold, put it in and break the ice and all that, whatever. And you got to pack that bottle, guard all up there.
Chop your wood, take your wood.
Yeah.
Coal and all that. I remember that too. That's how I appreciate it.
Jump out the bed, it's cold, and you ain't got ready. Hey, the thermostat turned up, and hey, ain't no thermostat there.
Pick the wood first.
That's it.
Yeah,
Cold and you get that axe on the wrong end,
yeah. But dear folk, I want you to see that whatever, and when people come along, and I tell folks, salvation is not free. And they get all mad. Oh, you don't know the Bible. That's wrong with you. You study the whole Bible. I said, nowhere in there does it show you that it's free. It costs you then, and it costs you now. You can't live the way you want it. Things go on and think you're gonna get salvation. Ain't happening. Okay? Now, let's go there. We're gonna see what God has for whatever. We're gonna call this for today here. I ain't even got halfway through here, but the Parashah here, so this is why I have to repeat these things because I haven't even get halfway through what I want to bring here. But nevertheless, well, let's get a little taste of what we have from Pharaoh here. Go to Exodus, the 7th chapter, and start reading the second verse.
Says, you are to say everything I order you. And Aaron and your brother is to speak to Pharaoh and tell him to let the people of Israel leave his land.
Now, I want you to stop right there. Did you get the very first thing he said? What was that he said?
You are to say everything I order you.
That's it. That was a command that wasn't to Pharaoh. That was not to Pharaoh. That command was to Moshe and Aaron.
Yep.
God has requirements for us. People run around, I'm a child of God. And I'm free. He don't set me free. I can do whatever I want. No. No. Yeah. That's crazy stuff. See? He said, let me get you straight in. If you're going to go on any further, and if you're going to do and fulfill all my plans, the first thing that got to come from you is that you got to do it, say everything I tell you, not what you think, not the way you want to see it, not the way somebody else have told you to go. You got to listen to me.
Right.
Are we willing to do that? Are we able to do those things there? See? If not, you ain't gonna make it. So, cause you putting yourself at risk here. Those kids got power. See? So God told him, here's what I want you to tell the king. I know that he's full of some stuff too, and all that and everything. But he said, no, you go ahead and tell him what I say. Okay? And this is how we gotta make a stand. This is how we gotta be strong with what God has said. So what did he do? He said, you read that again?
You are to say everything I order you. And Pharaoh, your brother, is to speak to Pharaoh.
And Aaron, not Pharaoh.
He
said,
Aaron,
Yeah, right.
your brother is
Yeah.
to speak to Pharaoh and tell him to let the people of Israel leave his land. But I will make him hard-hearted, even though I will increase my signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. Pharaoh will not listen to you. Then I will lay my hand on Egypt and bring my armies, my people, the sons of Israel, out of the land of Egypt with great acts of judgment. Then when I stretch out my hand over Egypt and bring the people of Israel out from among them, the Egyptians will know that I am Adonai.
All right. Notice it. All this thing that God was doing was for them to learn a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. See, God already knew that. And God had already prepared for his answer. And even Moshe didn't know that. And I keep telling you, even the leaders don't know everything. We all got to live by faith. We got to go by what God has told us. And that's the only safety net that you got. That was Moshe's safety net and Aaron's safety net. Aaron was to do everything that Moshe told him, and Moshe was to do everything God told him. And he said, when you do that, I'm going to make you a god unto Pharaoh and your brother a prophet. That's provided that you do everything I tell you to do. And that's why we have to be very careful and very mindful of making sure that we know what God has told us and don't go no further than that. And I tell folks that I got enough problems saying that without going against, I haven't seen going against what God has told me to do and all that thing. I haven't seen how God will play that. He don't play that. See? I don't care what they done told you. I don't care what they done said. Now, I know they made you mad. I know that they all that. But hey, that ain't got nothing to do with what I told you. I told you to go up to the rock. And you didn't do that. And therefore, you got to pay the consequences. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with it. Hey. We see culture for today. See, you never know all those things there. But as you said before, Pharaoh, the one that caused that, let it happen. And he let him know. God let him know. He said, now he ain't gonna just, even, do you know that Moshe got a little upset about that? Because he started listening to the folks. You know? Even when the judges started coming, he said, well, they're gonna let you go now. He didn't know how many judges God was gonna do. And that's another thing what I'm saying, that the leader always know. He knows it's gonna be 10. When God starts showing his control and his power and who was in charge and who was in control, the people, Moshe come down there, hey, I got to get ready and everything, because hey, he don't forget that God said, hey, I got a little lesson here I got to teach. Well, that lesson and everything that was causing trouble for him. Because Moshe, he thought after this here, that y'all gonna remove him right here. Y'all don't wait, because God is hard as fuck. I said, nope, you ain't learned a lesson yet. You still didn't get the right answer yet.
Mm.
And he said, who is
I'm the only God I know.
yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly what he said. That's what that, and he was treating us a God.
What y'all said, well, that is a legitimate question. That's what he said.
In closing for the day, dear folks, do we know Yah's promise, his purpose, and his people? Yah is showing the world. He's showing the nations, just as he showed Egypt, who's in control. And he's doing that today. He's letting the nations know who's in control. And the nations don't like it. It don't matter whether he like it or not. God's plan is the one that's going to work. And what we need to do is be like his son. His son said, nevertheless, that nevertheless, that means that ain't the way I'd like for it to go. How would that nevertheless mean? Y'all get that, right?
Mhm.
He said, nevertheless, that's right.
Amen.
Nevertheless, not my will, but thy will.
Amen.
I don't like it, I don't like that, but hey, this is what you do, and that's why I got to go along. That's it. And if we don't do that, we ain't gonna be a part of this plan. All right, this is our Parashah for this weekend. May y'all continue to bless us as we get forward and go forward in these things here. May y'all bless you and keep you on that end. And as our oath is, how shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Your right forget yours. Let my right hand give the time. Remember thee. Let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Some. We now turn the service over the hands of the service for today.
Back to all.